We always see
Hello.
Miguel first. Always Miguel. Miguel's the champ every time.
Private Pridons. That's the second Miguel comment. Private Pridons. I
Oh my
just.
god, I spelled Pridons. God damn it.
Oh, that was okay. I didn't even realize you misspelled it.
Oh, I don't know. I'm guessing so.
Hello, Gretel.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream.
So, yeah, like it's been kind of chaotic. I went to East Palestine for the second time, as many of you probably know. And it's been pretty chaotic, but kind of in a good way. So before I start, number one, I started a buy me a coffee. I know it's difficult for people to give every month in a Patreon, although I'm very thankful for those who do. Buy me a coffee is also something that you just give like $5. It's like a here and there thing. You just give it when and if you can. It's like a super chat, but it's not YouTube taking money away from you. It's just a free platform where you're like, yeah, boom, buy me a coffee. That's just sent Joy $5. Um, and the reason that that's so important is this show is costing me money to do, because I do not get enough Patreon at all to continue doing this. So buy me a coffee helps me with my streaming fees. And also, I want to go back to East Palestine, and do some more mutual aid. And I can't do it on my own. Also, I started an audio podcast on Podbean. Um, so that is going to be a completely different show. I'm going to be doing 1 to 2 episodes a week there, and they're going to be completely different. My first episode premiered 2 days ago. I had the gentleman Kim Staten on. He is in Australia. He just finished up doing a documentary on Julian Assange. Trailer is just epic. So you can check out my interview with him. Again, that's at Podbean, Savage Joy Marie Mann. So I'm looking forward to doing some of that as well. So I don't have to worry about, on the back end, things like that. So, real quick, one of the things, it was great to be back in East Palestine. One of the things that was incredibly important was Mark. I cannot fucking think of his name. Something with a D. Mark Douchebag, whatever the fuck his name is. I keep thinking Durbin, and that's not his name. It's something like that. Anyway, so I text him. I get his private cell phone, and I text him, and I say, hey, tomorrow's my last day in East Palestine. Can we meet in your office? Because it was a Monday, and his office is right in downtown East Palestine. He is the head of the East Palestine EPA. One of the places that's literally slowly killing the people in East Palestine. And he's like, sure, email my secretary at X, Y, and Z, and we'll get you in tomorrow. Cool. So I email her. She gets me back, and she's like, I need a list of the questions you're going to ask. I don't play that shit. That's not going to happen. So I write back and I'm like, yeah, so I haven't written them down yet, but I'm just going to ask things like, what has the EPA done? What does the EPA look forward to doing? And, just tripe bullshit. She never got back to me. I have a feeling she looked me up online. And then I texted him back. He was ghosting me. So I was like, all right, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go and we're just going to walk the fuck right in. So that's what we did. We walked in the office, myself, Jenna, and my friend Christina and her 4-year-old Edward, who you guys know from the show several times. And we all just walked in, and I was like, "Hi, I'm here to see Mark." And she's like, "Your Joy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, she goes back and she's like, "He's on the phone. He'll be right with you." And I'm like, "Hmm." So he tells us to turn off the camera. I did, but I may have left the audio going. So I have a 1 hour and 31-minute recorded conversation of him saying some really fucked up shit. And it's, I can't even, like, I'm not even going to get into it, because at this point, what I'm trying to do is I'm reaching out to publications, because I want to get it in the hands of whoever is going to be the most genuine, and whoever is going to use it the best way to say fuck the establishment. I just don't want to give it to like fucking New York Times or some shit. Like, I wanted to go to like a place that actually, interviews activists and things like that. That's my goal. So right now I'm holding on to it. But yeah, if you know anyone who's actually, a good person and does a publication, have them hit me up. But as of now, it's in safekeeping on my own. So anyway, yeah, that's some of what's going on. But oh, and then Andrew's like, so I got some other good news. Two college professors from a university in Michigan have asked me to do to be an honorarium for their class. They want me to give a lecture in their class about East Palestine and mutual aid, and I will be working with them on the background as well. So that's a huge honor. I'm really really excited about that. So yeah, that's kind of what's happened in the past few days. But in any case, um, Andrew, what is going on?
Yeah, so we've got a show today. We're going to be talking about, let's just pull it up. The first topic we have today is talking about call now for same day service. No, just kidding. That's not what we're going to talk about.
Nice.
Yeah, love it when all the articles just have
Yo, I don't
advertisements
even get
on them.
paid for these fucking advertisements. Like, what the
I
fuck?
know. I feel like we
At
should
least give
just,
us some money,
yeah, seriously.
bastards.
um, so Um, so WGA and SAG AFTRA join labor organizations calling on California to grant unemployment benefits to striking workers. So this bill is in the state assembly right now. This would be actually a huge bill. Imagine people going on
Yes.
strike and then actually getting unemployment benefits. Like, that's just a law that favors people who are working. Right? Like, imagine a law that doesn't favor corporations and favors people who are working, and
Right?
that's it. Like, empowering people who decide to go on strike to have better like working conditions. Yeah.
And that
So
would actually work to their favor as well, because they'd be like, well, we don't want them to go on strike. They're going to get paid anyway. So we should probably just work with them.
exactly, it might actually cause there to be less strikes because
Less
they're like,
striking.
okay, well, this could go on for a long ass time. uh, so yeah, and this is already something that is going on in that goes on in New York and New Jersey. um, and so the Writers Guild, they've been on strike for 40 days, and the WGA for 113. And so it's sponsored by these Senator Anthony Portatino, Maria Elena Durazo, and Assemblyman Chris Holden. Um, and so, yeah, and then this is, it sounds like what is really driving this is the writer's strike, right? So that would actually be pretty badass if what came out of it was a better bill, not just the writers getting, a better deal, but also a permanent bill from it. And so in New York right now, striking workers are eligible to receive up to $504 a week for 26 weeks, while in New Jersey they can receive up to $830 a week for 26 weeks. Okay, New Jersey, I'll stop making fun of New Jersey for a little bit now. Like,
That's kind of badass.
what?
That's kind of badass.
That is kind of badass. Yeah. And I think it really drives home the point, right? That it's, New Jersey and New York have some, protection for workers who decide to go on strike and receive unemployment benefits, but literally everywhere else, it's nothing, right? And so Massachusetts, you better get your ass in gear here.
And Pennsylvania.
And of course, Pennsylvania. And so, yeah, I just wanted to highlight this because, yeah, California could be the third state to do so. And let's just keep it going.
Awesome. That's so badass. Imagine the precedent that would set. Like,
right.
I mean, unfortunately, it's not going to be in states whose labor laws are the worst. Like,
correct.
A lot of those southern states, you're still allowed to pay people who are, who have MR less than minimum wage, or like disabled people less than minimum wage, or, I forget what state it is. I can't think of it. Somewhere in the South, they only pay $5.15 because the state has a separate amendment than the federal minimum wage, which is $7.25.
Oh wow!
I feel like it's West Virginia. But
surprise me, unfortunately.
Yeah, they have a separate amendment that is allowed to be completely separate than the federal minimum wage, and it only pays $5.15, which was the last time it was raised. It went $5.15 to $7.25. It's been $7.25 for 13 years because apparently it's just wonderful, and 13 years is, I mean, let's just wait longer. But yeah, for that reason, they don't have to abide by that minimum wage.
Yeah. I mean, that's, and the thing is if I feel like if California is able to get something like this passed, right? I mean, look at like different, we mentioned, of course, there's going to be many states that do not do this, right? But looking at like the amount of states who are starting to pass laws where students are entitled to a lunch in school, right? I don't even want to say free lunch because it's really like, can you just have
included?
Like, free is like almost like you could say free clothing, free deal. Like you're making it sound like it's a deal, right? It's not a deal. It's food, right? So,
it's just included.
It's just included. Like it's mandated you go to public school. Or I should say go to school. You don't have to go to public school, but it's mandated you get an education, right? It should be mandated that you're guaranteed to have food if you're going to mandate that people go to school, right?
And they focus so much on test scores and everything, but it's been proven for so many years that like kids do better on testing when they actually eat breakfast and eat healthy, and
right. Like
all these
actually
kids
focus
that are
on
in
things
food
if they're
deserts
not
and
starving.
shit.
Yeah. It's wild. I've been watching the show Abbott Elementary. Great show.
Is that comedy?
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's just teachers that are working in a Philadelphia school. That's
right.
really
I heard about that.
And yeah, someone who has worked in schools, at Boston Public School, some of it is a little like, oh, that's a little close to home, like, but it really does, I think, sum up just like how ridiculously these schools are just denied of resources, and how students suffer from it, teachers suffer from it. So yeah.
I mean, Blue's like, yup.
Yeah, it's Frida, but yeah.
Oh, Frida.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Frida.
Frida.
I love it.
So yeah.
That could be pretty epic. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So speaking of New Jersey, and so New Jersey activists want a ban on private prisons. Now Biden wants to reverse it. Do you want me to read the article?
Yeah.
All right. Let's pull up this article.
Well, first of all, I'm shocked. I want to read the article just to make sure that headline's not misleading.
Right. Usually Biden is very I thought Biden was an abolitionist, to be honest. I'm kind of
surprised. I thought he was too. Usually he's very ACAB.
Yeah. Yeah. He's isn't he a anti-cop communist, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he did hire Kamala, and she's top cop, but they both had a change of heart. Just kidding, they don't have hearts.
Yeah. He hired Kamala, who made Tulsi Gabbard look like a criminal justice activist. But
yeah. Who said that?
No, remember that debate where Tulsi Gabbard?
Oh God, it was hilarious.
Wow, you let Tulsi.
That was
Gabbard.
The only good thing Tulsi's done in 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. So, so there should be no private prisons, period, none, period. That's what they're talking about. Private detention centers. They should not exist. And we are working to close all of them. That's what Joe Biden said during an April 2021 speech in Georgia, where he found himself confronted by immigrant rights activists. 2 years later, it's clear that those are just empty words. The Biden administration is now throwing in support behind a core civic lawsuit in New Jersey, claiming that a 2021 state law prohibiting ICE contracts with private prisons is unconstitutional. ICE and the Biden administration are conspiring with CoreCivic, one of the nation's largest private jailers, to extend the contract of converted warehouse immigration detention jail with nearly 30 years of documented abuse. Today, as a court decides the case, people from across New Jersey are gathering outside the courthouse in Trenton to stand up against CoreCivic, ICE, and the Biden administration. Cruelty at Elizabeth Detention Center. The Elizabeth Detention Center is a personal issue for us. Hidden between warehouses at the end of a lonely alley, it is one of over 200 facilities across the country where the federal government jails undocumented immigrants. Over the years, our organization, Movimiento Cosecha, as well as other state groups, have been organizing against the deportation and detention of the members of our community. We know firsthand what it is like to get a phone call in the middle of the night from a family member saying their loved one has been detained. We have heard the stories of cruelty that people live while inside the immigrant jail, people being denied access to medical care, not being protected from COVID-19, being verbally abused, and more. You want me to keep going?
No, but I am wondering where AOC is in her hunched over white pantsuit, crying. Where are you, AOC?
Right. Why aren't you paying attention to this? Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's focusing on sunscreen. It's all good. It's, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, the thing is every time I think about private prisons and, I think about a lot of stuff, but remember Sandra Bland? She was murdered because she didn't have $200 to post bail. Those are the things that happen. That's how people die. That's how people are, how many black and brown people are in prison because of a joint or something. Why?
Right.
It's profitable. it's all about profit. I understand when people say it's modern day slavery. I mean, I get it. Absolutely. It is, it's incredibly inhumane to, it's, you're caging people who, what the majority of them have done what? Like have drugs on them? Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
Right.
Let them do whatever they want. I don't give a fuck if someone, like, it's your own body. You do whatever the fuck you want. But that's why for-profit prisons are booming, and they perpetuate so much classism and racism. If we got rid of for-profit prisons, that would, okay, so not only would you have less people incarcerated, you would have less recidivism, you would have more people productive in society because they wouldn't have criminal records. You would have, I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. No. 100%. So, all right, Biden, live up to your campaign promise,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to not vote for him even harder this year. Like, I'm going to not press that button even harder.
There you go.
Jenna said she wants to just drop a deuce in the voting booth. I say go for it. That meme where it's like voting third party, writing someone in, shitting in the voting booth, and it's like all the heads like bing bing bing. She's like,
I've actually never seen that meme. That's interesting.
Do you know the memes I'm talking about though, where the head gets like brighter and like the brain gets bigger, and it's like, yeah, shitting in the voting booth. That's like the epic.
Oh man.
And then I was like, if you do that, you better say, sorry, I don't have health care. I can't go to the doctor to see what's going on.
That's true. So I was hoping the voting booth could help me.
Yeah, healthcare is on the ballot. I voted for healthcare.
Oh man. So, do you want to see some rich people clutch their pearls?
Hell yeah!
This is a great video. So this is back in Nantucket Island. It's basically for people who are not from the Massachusetts area. It's kind of like another Martha's Vineyard type of island, right? They definitely have a lot of different fundraisers that happen out there, and of course, one of the fundraisers is with Governor Healy, who is the governor of Massachusetts. She's a Democrat, and so here is a video of some climate. It's called Climate Defiance, and I was recently learned about their group and Twitter page. Man, they have been doing some stuff recently that has been great to see. But here,
yeah, it was funny because they followed me when they had like 800 followers, and they're like, "Can you share this?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And now they've like blown
right.
up.
Yeah, so good for them. So far, they've done well. So, let me see. Is it okay? Good. I'm sharing the video. All right, let's watch.
Excuse me, Governor Gillette. Sorry to interrupt. We're in the midst of a climate emergency.
What's your name?
My name is Matt.
Nice to meet you.
I'm 20 years old and throwing my future. The state of Massachusetts is building 10 new fossil fuel infrastructure projects right now. We need you to ban new fossil fuel infrastructure right now. Will you commit to doing that? Yes or no?
Let's talk about that, okay?
Let's talk about it. Yes or no?
Let's talk about that. There's a huge transition that we're undergoing, and there's a lot of work to do. But let me tell you, and I
First step of the
appreciate.
transition is to ban new fossil fuels. Will you ban new fossil fuel infrastructure?
I appreciate that, Matt. Guys, I appreciate it's democracy.
And fossil fuels, Mara. And fossil fuels. And fossil fuels, Mara. And fossil fuels.
You assaulted us.
How did I assault you?
There is
no
future.
I don't have The fossil fuel industry bought you out. The fossil fuel industry gave you $50,000. And fossil fuels, more and fossil fuels.
Longer than the other one.
Fossil fuels. And fossil fuels.
Touch you.
And fossil fuels.
You hurt your car. You hurt your car.
No new fossil fuels.
No new fossil fuels. We've spoken to her before. She's ignored us.
You have no idea how
You
to
don't-
get things done.
it's-
You have no idea how to get things done.
We're afraid because our lives are going to end.
My
And
lives too.
you,
We're all the same age.
and no, we're not. I'm 20. How are
Fine, I
you?
have kids that are 9.
Okay.
You have absolutely no
What are you
idea how to
doing?
get things done.
Can you tell me what are you doing to
No
help
new
them?
fossil fuels.
What are you doing to
I have
help them?
solar everything. I have solar in my
Is your
house.
individual
Just-
act going to help us? No, the act of someone in power is
if you
going
had half
to.
a brain, you would understand
We
how
have
to get
no
things done.
money. Laura has power, and she can help save us, but
But
she's
your
not.
rudeness prevents you
We're
from
gonna
talking
die.
to her.
Who cares how rude we are?
I don't mind
And
if
the
you
people in
die.
that event
quicker than you
Okay, so who was the one that was like, "Get out"?
Yeah,
What?
yes. So I'll have to look again because they actually named all the names. That's one of the things that is great on their page, which I was going to show next, is they actually name names of the people in that video, and it's great to just see how. Yeah. So the guy.
Okay, but how did they get in there? Because if it's
That's
a
a-
fundraiser, you gotta pay.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
the thing I struggle with. Okay, not just raising the money, but and no shade on them. I don't. They're doing great work, but I think, do I really want to give them money? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if I gotta give them money to get in there, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
So it's something I wrestle with, but I mean, I guess the ends justify the means.
Right. Now they know. So the person who is screaming "Get out" is Robin Wiseman, and she is the CEO of the PA Housing Finance Agency. Yeah, that's right. She is in Pennsylvania.
I swear I thought she looked familiar.
Maybe
Okay,
you've
so
seen
she's
her.
part of the housing agency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Get out!
Oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Get
Um,
out!
And Michael Stratton, that was the guy who was he made that weird, like, I'm gonna touch you. He's donated to Kristen Cinema. And apparently he lobbies for liquefied natural gas.
Is that the one that was like, I have solar all over my house?
Oh no, that was someone else. He's a developer. He's a real estate he's in development in Boston. Apparently, that guy. So he's great. You can thank him for why Boston is really expensive. One of the reasons why. He was the first person who they showed who he was. So yeah, trying to look. Okay, so that was Bruce Pursley.
Oh my god, that sounds like a Richie Rich name.
Oh yeah, he is the former
Pursley?
chair of Make-A-Wish, Massachusetts.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I have been trying to tell people for over a decade that Make-A-Wish, look up where that money goes. Do not donate to them. Only 6 cents of every dollar goes to the actual children. Look it up. And I'm not shocked that motherfucker works for them.
Yeah. So, and there was, I encourage you to check out their page because they have a lot more information on particularly the people who were highlighted in that video who were upset. But yeah, no, great to see them making people feel uncomfortable. And yeah, keep it going.
These young people are going to change things. It probably won't be in our lifetime, but they have learned early that they need to make some noise.
Yeah. No, they have. I mean, they've gotten. I mean, that generation has gotten screwed over even more than millennials, I feel like, right? There's always been a
Oh,
war.
fuck yeah.
Whenever they've been alive, they've had like all these school shootings that have happened. There's been all these natural disasters. I mean, they've just been born into just constant.
Everything we've gone through, they are now going through plus.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm above Gen Z and I'm above millennial, but yeah, I mean, like they have the housing crash. They have it all. It keeps getting worse with each generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And you do have to wonder, being so, so obviously, as a millennial, I grew up around technology, but it was definitely not the same as like a Gen Zer, right? So a Gen Zer, they're born basically around the technology, around the internet. They've got all this information at the tip of their fingers. You have to wonder too if that was also part of what has made them so much more aware in some instances, right? Because it's like, I feel like there's a lot more control at me, with you, and then in me, and maybe a lesser extent, right? There's more control over like how much you should be able to see, right, as a little kid, right? But here it's like parents don't have as much control anymore because all they have to do is pick up some like like just any technology that has access to
Turn
the
your
internet,
phone on.
and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
So
Oh shit, we're all gonna die.
We're
all
fucked.
gonna die.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of climate, I'm going to talk about fracking. So insideclimatenews.org. Let me just pull this up.
So I'll preface this with I still get absolutely furious when people praise Fetterman, who we've called Frackerman for years. He is, I've said it a million times, he's friends with Hillary and Biden, and they were outstanding for him and his campaign. If you think he has even a morsel of progressive or leftist in his body, you are fucking delusional. I had him on my show and he outright fucking lied about fracking, and it was used in the damn debates. He is trash. He is absolute trash. And here we go. While he's at Disney World talking about how he's having such a great time there. By the way, it's $200 per person to get in each day. This article comes out, and I knew this already because I've met 2 people in Pennsylvania who have been diagnosed with cancer, who have shown me their water. It's pitch black, and they have fracking literally on their property because it's not illegal. That they can literally use your property they don't need your permission. That's how fucked up it is. And people have been getting sick in Pennsylvania forever. We have the second biggest state of pipelines and fracking. The only other one is Texas. That's the only one ahead of us.
Not the best state you want to be joining in regards to that, but yeah.
Except I'm here, so
You are.
at least you got that.
Yeah. So, children living within a mile of a natural gas fracking well were up to 7 times more likely to suffer from lymphoma, a rare kind of cancer, than those who had no such wells within 5 miles of their homes, according to a long-awaited study that adds to a growing number of investigations into possible links between fracking and illness. The study by the University of Pittsburgh for the Pennsylvania Department of Health, unveiled late Tuesday, along with 2 others looking at health risks related to fracking, also found that children have a higher risk of developing lymphoma the closer they live to a fracking operation, and that the incidence of the disease among those living within a mile of a well far exceeds the rate for the United States as a whole. Okay, this came up. Okay, why did this come up? Go away. Go away.
Capitalist fuckers.
Is it really just giving me a paywall live? I think it is.
Oh, come on, dude. Your climate magazine?
Yeah.
Come on. That's not cool.
No, not at all.
Well, that's okay. We get the gist of it. You know, and of course Pennsylvania is not the only state, but it's frustrating that aside from the people I've met and spoken to, a climate magazine is the only people who will acknowledge that this is happening. And speaking of East Palestine, 2 more people have been diagnosed with cancer who were directly living by ground zero. A gentleman just had to have a double mastectomy because he had a very rare form of breast cancer. No cancer history on his mom or dad's side. None.
Ugh.
And then all of a sudden, he needs a double mastectomy.
Wow.
And now there's 2 more people. But, you know, the CDC doctor, I forget his name, he said, we don't have anything to treat these chemicals in you right now, but we do have treatment for the cancer they will give you. That's the CDC. Fucked up.
Yeah. Pretty awful.
It is.
So,
Hi, Matt. Matt's cool, people. He came out to East Palestine both times.
who did?
Matt, he's in the comments.
Oh, nice.
And he makes some badass signs. If you guys want to see him, they're on my Twitter. So he is good people. We appreciate him very much.
Yeah. All right. So
People love this twat waffle Newsom. They want him to run for president and stuff. He is such an idiot. Like, he loves him some ice. And for some reason, people tried to like make him like so-called progressive. But he is such a fucking tool.
yeah. So Newsom is the first governor to say Trump is not eligible for future presidential elections and has asked the California State Assembly to pass a bill that will remove Trump's name on any future ballots. Okay.
So, number 1, Hillary was still on the ballot. But also, number 2, can people finally just acknowledge that if you're so anti-Trump, you don't want to piss off his fans? Because literally, you complain about an insurrection. What the fuck do you think this will do? Taking him off a ballot for an entire state? You want to see a fucking uprising? Holy fuck. You are stupid. Like, you are fucking stupid. And also, do you think he's going to win California? I mean, is it worth, like, going through all of that? Because, you know, we have this, you know, fascist bullshit called the Electoral College, and He's not going to get any fucking numbers from that anyway. But it's just like, God, like, why don't people realize they're fucking emboldening his fans by doing shit like that? And plus, it's fucking, what's his name? Joe Exposed. Joe. What the fuck's his name? Exotic. Joe Exotic.
Mm-hmm.
He's running from prison.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally in prison. And he's running. It's like, look, if you don't think you can take Trump, just admit it. Just fucking admit it, okay? But you know what? DeSantis should scare people a fuckload more than he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which DeSantis isn't really doing that great, it seems like, in the...
If they take Trump out, he will.
But he will, yeah. Especially in a state like California, where, that counts as a lot of points. What's the term? I'm blanking on the name. It's not points. It's, I don't know.
Like
It's,
electorals.
well, electoral. Yeah, there's a lot of electoral points. What the fuck? Why am I blanking? It's too late.
Super delegates.
Well, not super delegates, but yeah, okay. California
Delegates.
counts as a lot in the primaries.
Right.
So, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. They're using what? They're using what they're using to validate them taking him off the ballot is the 14th Amendment in Section 3, where it's saying disqualification is anti-democratic, declaring that it is not. So that is interesting. I'd have to read more into that. I also was seeing that New Hampshire is also trying to get Trump off the ballot. Interesting.
Who is?
New Hampshire. They
Oh,
may
New
also,
Hampshire.
which that would be interesting. Yeah.
I don't think they've ever gone red, have they? I know the past 2 times they've went full on Bernie. Like,
Yeah.
full on Bernie.
Well, yeah, and in the general, they didn't, for 2016 and 2020. New Hampshire did not go red. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see when the last time New Hampshire went red. But I do think in the primaries they may have actually voted for Trump. I mean, at least. Let's see.
In Pennsylvania, if Trump's running, it's going to go to Trump again. Guarantee it.
You think so?
Fuck yeah. There are so many Trump people in Pennsylvania. So many.
I mean, yeah, it's tilted, and I mean, Pennsylvania got the Senate to become blue, and now they have a blue governor. So it'd be interesting to see if it does swing back, or if it continues to be blue.
I mean, Biden's going to lose.
Okay.
He's going to lose.
Yeah.
Dude is a fucking mess in every sense of the word. And the Democrats
He's going against a lot of shitty people too. I mean, that's the thing. It's just a race to the bottom at this point.
Yeah, but like lesser evil? What? Who?
Yeah.
Who? Like, dude's a fucking mess. He is so much like Trump. It's disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I mean,
Did y'all hear what Bernie come out and said yesterday or today?
I didn't look into it, but I saw the headlines. That, yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Like, for those who didn't see it, he, like, Cornell West was like, I think it's crazy that Bernie endorsed Biden, and Bernie's like, he clapped back. And he was like, well, it's important for democracy. We vote for Biden, blah, blah, blah. Okay. let me just break this down, Bernard. You should never use the word democracy after what they've done to you for the past fucking 8 years. Let's just say that right now. If you think there's any democracy, that's a fucking problem. Number 2, you didn't even wait until anything happened. You endorsed Biden the day he announced. Number 3, both Marianne Williamson and Cornel West endorsed you both times you ran, and you can't even do them the respect of staying out. So it's like, Bernie, I never thought I'd say this for 8 years, but sit down. Please sit down. Just please take several seats. Okay? You should have retired already. You've ruined your legacy. We're all betrayed. Just please sit down. They hate you, Bernie. They fucking hate you. And you've betrayed all of us. So now you have no one. So stop. Just fucking stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So the last topic before we move to the funny that I wanted to highlight is there was this person in a small Alabama town, this black person who was elected mayor, and then he was locked out of the office. You know, he had to get people to change, people who had no business having keys to the mayoral office had keys, walking in and out. He had to get the locks changed. This guy, in November 2020, Patrick Braxton, a volunteer firefighter and contracted from New Bern, Alabama, was elected mayor of this small town, 133-person town. He wanted to have a peaceful and timely transfer of power, so he attempted to contact the town's previous mayor, Woody Stokes III, but Stokes would not return his calls. Braxton, who was black, decided to go to the town hall and talk to Stokes, who is white, in person. He told Stokes that he would need a key to the town hall to begin his duties. Stokes acquiesced and gave him a key, but when Braxton entered the building, he found that town hall had been stripped of its records beyond a couple boxes of discarded items that looked like trash. He'd also noticed that Stokes had given keys to friends of his, people who were not council members and had no official business with the city, who were walking in and out of the building. So, like, half the town must have had access, like Jesus. So Braxton changed the locks. He, as an appointed city council, held their first town meeting. Shortly thereafter, Stokes changed the locks again, locks the new mayor out of town hall, and effectively prevented him and his council from serving their duties. The Battle of the Locks was part of a long power struggle that started earlier that year when Braxton won the first mayoral election in the town in over a century. Braxton's decision to run for mayor upended a decades-long political system of entrenched disenfranchisement and effective mayoral dictatorship. For decades, mayors had been appointed, not elected. Braxton's campaign triggered the first election in recent history and made him the first black mayor since the town was established 169 years ago. From the day he was sworn in until now, nearly 3 years later, Stokes and his cronies have refused to acknowledge Braxton's legitimacy as mayor, going so far as to prevent him from accessing city mail and funds. Earlier this year, Braxton and his 4 appointed city council members filed a lawsuit against Stokes and his city council, alleging that the former mayor and his allies violated federal civil rights law by preventing Braxton from acting as mayor. They're so stuck in their ways and don't want nothing else for the town. They just wanted to stay home. I hope they break and just go ahead and release everything to me. If not, we'll just go to court.
It's disgusting.
So, yeah, I mean, like, the guy can't even do his job. Like,
that's the ultimate salty because I lost. Like, that is the absolute ultimate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very textbook 1960s vibes of just like, oh, we don't want a black person as mayor. Oh, we're not going to transfer this power successfully.
Well, I mean,
We're gonna
he
fuck
was
out.
voted for. Like,
Right. Like,
get over it. Oh my God.
so,
That
yeah.
poor guy. I can't even imagine.
So it's when you hear stories like that, it's incredible that these things are happening. And it's a 133 person town.
So you're right. Yeah, like probably like 67 of them have the key.
I know. I was
Like everyone who could prove they didn't vote for the dude has a key.
right. Like I was like, what the?
I do want to look up what the votes were. Like who, like, was it close? Did he have like way more? Like,
Did the 20 people who didn't vote for him, do they just have keys?
right. Oh my
Like,
God.
That's like the creepiest thing. Like, what do they have to even do in that fucking room? Like, why would you even go there? Like, besides obviously trying to be threatening in some way or intimidating, like
That
it's
is like
probably the
a
most
temper
boring room
tantrum.
you could go into.
So bananas. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah. So Alabama, I know it's been tough, but like these last, 100+ years, but do better, don't be a fucking white supremacist state. Baby.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, that's really all you can say to that. Like, holy shit. All right. Well, the funny is coming up.
I know sometimes we show funnies that like are sad and they're very like laugh so you don't cry, but this one's funny, like actually funny.
I'm looking forward to it because I actually have not seen it. So
This is the Chicago mayor, and the funny thing is he's actually all over Twitter right now because people are saying they want him to run in 2028.
Oh, for president, really?
Yeah. So I've just been posting this on all the. I'm like boom, boom, boom. I don't know. Maybe people are like, cool.
All right.
Right. Real eyes. Right. Realize. And real lies. That's also Tupac Shakur.
Okay.
You ruined it, you dork. It's realize, real eyes, realize. Like, dude, okay, Kamala. Like, that's all I think of is Kamala. Like, it was a debate. Like, when she says things that try to sound profound and they're not, like, oh my God, dude, stop. But like I said, I'm sharing them like on Shitlib's pages and stuff. They'll probably be like, yo, shout out to Tupac. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm just like, what a dork. But other people might be like, yay, so cool.
Yeah.
Just like Kamala had bootleg Tupac tapes in her trunk, like
That's true.
before he was like in high school. But yeah.
Yeah. That's what she
Oh,
said
and
on,
today-
I think, Charlemagne's show, right?
Yeah. Today is the anniversary of March on Washington. And on this day, I want to shout out one of our favoriteest people, Miss Reverend Annie Chambers.
Hell yeah.
We've gotten to meet her several times. We had her on our show as well. She's a queen. In fact, I'm going to text her. Let's have her back.
Sure.
She is like the epitome of a boss bitch. Like she was friends with Malcolm X. She was friends with MLK Jr. She walked on the March on Washington and gave birth along the way, picked up the baby and kept fucking walking. Like she is like like anything and everything in history. She's like, I was there. She's a Black Panther. I mean, like, this woman is a walking history book. She's incredible and just a wonderful human being. So yeah, let's have her back on, because yeah, she's the best. So shout out to everyone for watching. Please smack that like button. Please smash the subscribe button. Please, please, please subscribe to my new podcast on Podbean, Savage Joy Marie Man. Buy me a coffee, Savage Joy Marie Man. Yeah, all the things. And I'm going to be doing these podcasts, these audio podcasts on Podbeam at least once or twice a week. And as I said earlier, they are completely different than the shows I'm doing on video. They're going to have different guests. The first one I just premiered had the director of the new Julian Assange documentary, Kim Staten. So check that out. What is up with you, Andrew?
Nothing. So everybody have a great night. And we'll do this again next week.
You're damn right we will.
All
Much
right.
love, guys.
Take it easy.